Evening, everybody. Welcome to Formula Online Racing for the final race on F1 2019, the final race of the PlayStation 4 season, and quite fittingly for Independence Day, it is taking place around the Circuit of the Americas in Austin. This is the United States Grand Prix. Bit of a reduced grid tonight, unfortunately, as a few people have managed to sneak a copy of F1 2020 early, and they're looking to get an advantage for the next season on the game. But it should still be some fascinating action. And Jess, even though the championship leader isn't here, he still looks a pretty good price to be the champion at the end of this evening.
Well, it's going to be close, really, because Westy, if he wants to be champion, he's got to get a podium, and Paulie Orange has got to win. So Josh is going to hope that Westy and Paulie Orange get a really bad result tonight for him to still be champion. Unfortunately, Josh can't make it tonight, of course, but maybe in his new team colours, Westy could prove a point.
Yeah, Westy now a member of ILRT, so he'll be hoping that he can end this game on a high for them. So as Jess said, Josh, Westy, Paulie Orange. Paulie Orange needs to win. A second place and a fastest lap will tie him on points with Josh, but Josh has more podiums. Ditto if West finished fourth with the fastest lap, he'd also be tied on point, but he needs that podium to take the championship. The Constructors' Championship was mathematically still up for grabs tonight, but with neither Reynolds here tonight, that means that Louis' 3 wins in a row and some great performances from Koala have secured the Constructors' Championship for Red Bull. Louis also isn't here tonight, and that means a few drivers will have a good opportunity to end this season on a high.
Yeah, because obviously Louis has been quite dominant in the last few races, and maybe we could see more wins from Westy on the horizon, and maybe Furhan can get his next win, because I think he only got 2 wins, I believe, as well, and he was looking quite good in Singapore before Louis joined, of course, so we can see good signs for Furhan, maybe the Mercedes. You never know, it might be unpredictable, just like qualifying was in real life, hashtag spoiler alert.
Yeah, well, the highlights have been on Channel 4, so I imagine most people have watched, and they won't be too surprised to see that we're watching a black car go around the Austin circuit now, and it's a black car on pole and a black car in second place as Paulie Orange actually dives into the pits there, so we're not going to see him get out on a hot lap. Who is heading around the final couple of corners now? Andenge on the medium tyres. He's about to start the outlap of this circuit of the Americas, the 10th different circuit used in America for Formula 1 racing. 5.513 kilometres, heavy braking down into turn 1, such a wide corner, so many different lines you could take through there. It is a fantastic corner for overtaking. Now through the S's, similar to Maggots, Beckett's and Chapel that we saw quite a few rounds ago now at Silverstone. That is what this sequence of corners is based on, tightening as you go around, and if you're on old tyres at this part of the circuit in the race, you are going to find yourself in trouble. And it's also very easy to invalidate your lap at this part of the track, as he has just done. So Andenge invalidated his lap. He now heads down towards turn 11, which is just after the detection point as you head down the long straight. Now this is where we'll see most of the slipstreaming and most of the overtaking in the race, down this long undulating back straight, reaching high speeds. You see there, 8th gear, nearly 200 miles an hour as you reach the braking point for turn 12, braking hard into there, and you see a lot of battles side by side in the race through the stadium section, taken off the stadium section that we have at the Hockenheim circuit through 13, 14, turn 15, usually the last bit of this section where you might see a car go for a lunge down the inside. If you're really brave, you might try and go side through this triple apex right-hander, 16, 17 and 18, heading down into turn 19 where the track limits means they can't take the IndyCar style line through there. And Andenge just cutting off circuit before we get to turn 20. Westy was a bit wild there coming through the final corner, but he's going to be first man to set a hot lap. 1:31.486 for the Williams. Droftas slotting in behind, and having this short qualifying is really going to mix things up a bit because they've got to be on it straight away tonight.
Exactly, and obviously with the tyres as well, obviously, like we've seen pretty much the whole season, you can go on the softs in Q3 and you don't have to worry about starting those tyres in qualifying. You can't do that in short qualifying. You have to start on the tyre you qualified on if you're in the top 10, so that'll make things even more intriguing, really, as the softs are. Sometimes they last long around here, sometimes they don't, so they've just got to be wary, and if they mess up and invalidate, that could really be game over. And for our championship contenders, they've got to have a good showing tonight. Koala has gone fastest again with a 1:31.2. There's quite a few people about to finish their laps as well, as I think we've got a racing point that's about to start. Nope, he's not, he's invalidated. So Jonathan Cox goes into the pit lane, and there's quite a few people about to start their flies. So anything can happen here around COTA, of course.
Yeah, it's been a brilliant addition since it came to Formula 1 8 years ago. Not been without its controversial moments. There's a hat throw of 2015. There was Verstappen's overtake on Raikkonen that got taken off him. We'll watch Verhan now as he comes around the final corner in the Mercedes. He's been second place 3 times in a row to Louis. He's gone very deep there into the final corner, but still good enough for 1:30.938. He'll definitely be looking for a win tonight, and I think Koala, he'll be hoping to do a bit better than happened last time out. He was looking pretty good last time in Mexico, where we had the rain. Unfortunately for him, couldn't quite get the podium, but this is a great chance for him to end the season on a high.
Yeah, I see a lot of these drivers actually, and the most important thing, I think I'm going to keep saying it in the stream, is momentum. If you get a good result here, if you stay on FOR next season or other seasons on the F1 2020 game for other leagues, is going to help you think, well, I can do this on a new game as well. So even if you're not in the running for the championship, maybe if you want to get a win, it's still possible here to climb a few places in this championship.
Yeah, definitely. The drivers will be hoping to still close up. It is still pretty close. Droftas and Aylon are actually tied on points together. They're on 88 points, and Denge and Verhan not too far ahead either. So definitely a chance for those drivers to see quite a few position changes. On board with Legend, or Cassie G as he was known, he always seems to be in and around the points. Tonight he's reserving in the Toro Rosso, and this is the final time we'll be saying Toro Rosso on F1 commentary as it moves to Alpha Tauri next season. It's a 1:32.111 for him. This is going to be a great opportunity for his teammate Hibilo to get his first points of the season. He's come close on a couple of occasions, but surely he'll be hoping tonight is the night he gets in that top 10.
Well, there's only 13 drivers, and all it takes is for 3 drivers to retire and bin it, and boom, he's in the points really. And for short qualifying, that's even more important for him, and if he does that on his final race in season 1, that's just going to give him good confidence boost going into the new season. And I think the underdogs in myself is hoping that that's the case.
Yeah, definitely. Toro Rosso at the moment are rooted to the bottom of the Constructors' Championship, just behind these guys, Ferrari, and judging by the way real F1's going, it might not be too long before Ferrari find themselves in the bottom half of the Constructors in real life. 6th and 9th at the moment in qualifying. Silent Ace has been the main point scorer for them in the last few races, with Infamous Pillars yet to pick up any points. And here we are on board with Silent Ace's Alonso inspired helmet, also in car number 14. It didn't go well for Alonso in the Scuderia at the end, and this lap hasn't been ideal for Silent Ace as he dives into the pits. And most of the field are currently showing as having, well, actually, it's pretty even split as I say that. We've got 5 drivers on the mediums, 8 on the softs, but it does look as though most of the faster guys are going to be qualifying on the soft tyres. But an alternative strategy could definitely work for those outside the top 10 here.
Yep, indeed. I think this can benefit pretty much all outside the top 10 as well. So maybe they want to go out longer on a harder set of tyres and then go on a fresh set of softs or the mediums towards the end of the race. We'll have to wait and see, of course, because the delta is not much for difference around here. If I just get my notes up quickly, it is the medium's 1.4 seconds slower than the soft, and the hard's 2.1 seconds slower. So yeah, if I were you, maybe get a lap on the soft potentially will be the best bet, because the mediums will be a lot slower than the softs around this circuit.
Yeah, Droftas at the moment, he's fastest man on the softs with a 1:32.674, and given the pace he's been showing in qualifying lately, hasn't been able to pull it off in the race. You would expect on the softs him to be able to get much closer than that. He's currently in 5th position. We've had half of the session gone, only 8 drivers to set a time at the moment, and it is Verhan just over a quarter of a second ahead of Koala. Westy in 3rd, and if it finished like that, that would be good enough to give the Williams driver the champion. He has been very good since he joined the league back in Canada. Took a win in Canada, followed that up with a win in France, but things for him haven't quite gone as well there. And it is going to be a dry race tonight, and I'm sure that will be a relief, because COTA it's quite a tricky track at the best of times, and we have seen in real life, when it rains at this circuit, it really comes down.
I thought it was actually going to be raining in the season finale. Would have spiced things up a bit, get a bit of sprinklers on, you know. We kind of wish the commentators had an option to pick the weather, but we didn't. And to be honest, I think if it rained for quite a bit, I think the drivers will be a bit too gutted that it is raining. So it gives them a chance just to push on these tyres and potentially in the race as well, and have some good battles in as well, and say goodbye to the game. As we know, it's had some highs and it's had some lows, of course, but you know, it's quite a coincidence actually, the Independence Day, and then the final track is USA. So you know, happy Independence Day to all you Americans out there that are tuned in. I know there's quite a few of you tuned in, so happy Independence Day.
Yeah, 244 years ago, and I'm kind of regretting putting myself on the spot with the maths there, so I wouldn't take that as given, but 244 years ago today, we'll see who's going to be in top in America now. Jonathan Cox on the soft tyres, 132.169, the quickest he's done so far, and he's definitely a driver that's shown pace at some times this season, but he's now backing off and getting ready to just head into the pits, I'm sure, before a final run at qualifying. And Fairhan is going even faster, and he does have a car up ahead of him of YBR, who might end up giving him a slight slipstream, but no, YBR pulling well out of the way. And it's usually been the Red Bull team that we've seen have been pretty good at pulling off that slipstream throughout the last few races. Louis and Koala did seem to work very well, especially considering how new they were as a pair.
Yeah, I think Louis was keen to get the team on Koala, and I was quite shocked that Koala wanted to do it from the get-go, really, but that's what's helped them win the Constructors' title, and I think Koala will be happy with that. But not many teams are going to benefit from the slipstream today. Mainly Ferrari and Mercedes, and potentially Toro Rosso, and I would say, I'm just going to see where John and Racing Point as well, and Williams. No, Williams actually, not Racing Point. Those lot of teams are going to benefit from it. The others, they're going to work just a little bit harder. As Furhan, a 130.9 on those medium tyres on the softs. This is making a statement that he was close enough to people in the end, but it just wasn't quite enough for him to take the title. But surely he'll be happy with that lap.
Yeah, 130.928, just a slight improvement over his best. This man Westy has gone up into second though, ahead of Koala, so he'll be pretty happy at the moment. And there is a huge gap back from Koala to Legend at the moment. As you can see, nearly a second between the Red Bull and the Toro Rosso, so we have to see if Legend can make an improvement this time around. He's about a quarter of a second up on his time. Silent Ace has filled that giant chasm with the Ferrari at the moment. He is in fourth position in the Ferrari, 4th and 9th at the moment for them. Still Paulie Orange and Andenge yet to set a time, and Paulie Orange going out on the medium tyres for what well could be his final run, as we just saw the rear end of that Toro Rosso beginning to step out a bit there. So we'll see what Cassie G can do as he comes towards the line. Didn't cost him too much though, 131.756, retakes that 4th position. I've got to say, I am surprised Paulie Orange is going for the mediums, but perhaps he thinks, and I mean this in the nicest way possible, that he hasn't got the pace of Furhan and Westy, and that he has to try something different if he wants to be the victorious tonight.
Yeah, I think so as well. I mean, obviously we got Westy on the softs, and obviously a lot of other people on the softs as well, but surely Paulie Orange has to respond to Westy, because if the softs are going to be faster towards the first part of the race, then Paulie Orange will need a miracle. Obviously, Furhan's done well with the alternate strategy before. He's not opting for that at the moment. I think Paulie Orange is going to need a miracle, definitely.
Yeah, he'll be aiming to at least be faster than Droftas, who's also gone out on the mediums again. And here we are on board with the Mercedes, and he is improving. So watch out for the Silver Arrows at the moment. Furhan fastest on the soft tyres and outright fastest, and Droftas, if he keeps it clean, looks as though he's going to be in very good position to be the fastest driver on those medium tyres as he rounds the final corner. Where can he put the Mercedes? Moves up just one place above Hibilu, but he'll be happy with that with a 132.240, putting him in 8th position at the moment. He will have to start on those medium tyres if he stays there. Paulie Orange, but not going to get a delta to his personal best, as he's yet to set a time. And we've just seen a little message that could make our calculations a bit more awkward during the race. Josh has joined the session, so I think he's realised it's the final race and he can't quite rely, judging by how West is doing, on the rivals around him not scoring too many points.
Bring it on, really. I think he definitely realised that he can't rest on his laurels, really, and he just wants to race. He wants to claim that title, and to be honest, if he finished ahead of Westy and Paulie Orange, then definitely that's the title for him. I think we've got to redo our maths a little bit there. That's kind of annoying, isn't it? But go on, Josh.
Yeah, I think very quickly, I know if Josh gets a podium, it's secure no matter what, and we have seen him come back from the back of the grid quite a few times, and doing it from 14th, definitely not as hard of a challenge as it would have been if it had been a full grid. So Josh, you've got to say, now that he's here, definitely slight favourite for this championship given the lead he's got at the moment. Paulie Orange ended up going into 10th place there with a 1:32.696, 1.8 seconds nearly off of pole position, but 3.5 tenths off of Droftas on the same type of tyre, so I don't think he'll be too disheartened with that. Looks very likely that is going to be the final lap for him, and Denge also going on out lap now. We're going to see a few more drivers heading out on circuit. Can Westy in the Williams get ahead of Verhan, get pole position, because he might need to try and streak away in this race now?
Yeah, he does. I think he realised the challenge that he's seen. He's seen it. Josh went online and he's like, right, I've got to put the hammer down. It's hammer time for Westy, and he's probably motivated about how the Williams pair did in qualifying in real life, of course, and he wants to replicate that in real life, but obviously in the top half rather than the bottom half. So, I think Westy needs more than a podium tonight, I think, to secure this. I mean, maybe even if he gets a podium and Josh doesn't score, I think that's going to be his only shot. And Droftas is retired from the session. I think he's happy with that, or he just binned it. I don't even know. But we're on the final few minutes of qualifying, and I'm a bit worried about Hibilu. I think he's now got less of a chance of scoring points tonight with Josh in the mix now.
Well, Josh has said he's going to be shocking as he hasn't played for a bit, so maybe there's still a chance, and we have seen quite a few first lap incidents at COTA in real life and in the virtual world. It can happen around this circuit. Hibilu at the moment on for 9th place. We've seen him in the top 10 before in qualifying. It did not go to plan in the race, so we'll have to see what he can do tonight. Not too long to go now in this qualifying session. All the drivers will be on their final laps, and Denge, he's heading around the circuit at the moment on the medium, still yet to set a time. He's going to be the first man, I think, to come and end in this session on his fast lap. Got a Toro Rosso ahead of Legend, who's gone off the circuit, I think realising he's never making it all the way around this circuit in a month of Sundays to get another lap in this qualifying session. So 4th the best for him in the Toro Rosso as he gets well out of the way of everyone else. And Denger's got Hibilu not too far behind him, and looks as though there's also the Williams of Westy as well. So thinking about it, it might have been best for Legend just to go a bit faster as the checkered flag drops. He could have given Hibilu a bit of a tow down the straight there.
And speaking of tow, I think one of the Toro Rossos has given Westy the tow, and didn't mean to. So that's probably gained a little bit on West. Actually, no, he didn't. He lost about 4 hundredths of a second there. So, but oh well. But that might help him towards the end of the lap, that's for sure. The checker flag has dropped. Everyone's about to finish their lap. It's make or break. Koala's up by a tenth in the first sector, and he's looking to be up by a few tenths in the middle sector as well. Westy's going to come across the line now. Can he improve on his time to secure pole position? He does improve, but not enough for pole. But he's quite close between him and Verhan. We'll see if Verhan will need to go again. Verhan's up by 2 tenths. I think this is going to be make or break for Verhan, really. Koala is probably going to be his best bet to see. Let's see what Koala can do. He comes across the line now. He takes the shortest line possible. 3rd place. He improves, but not enough for position. And I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. So Verhan is on pole. And I think he improves his lap time as well.
Yeah, great lap by Verhan, taking pole position. I think in the end it turns out that first lap would have been good enough, but he just wanted to make sure with his 2nd and 3rd run, and it was a big improvement. 4 tenths of a second ahead of Westy, was just ahead of Koala in the end. Silent Ace doing well to get his Ferrari up to 4th in the last couple of seconds of qualifying. Legend 5th, Jonathan Cox 6th, Alan 7th, Pillars 8th, YBR 9th, Droftas 10th on the medium tyres. So we'll have to see what he can do starting on them. He'll be 11th in the end, so he'll have fresh choice, as will Paulie Orange in 12th and Engine 13th. Josh will be starting 14th. He'll just be looking to keep out of trouble in the first couple of laps and then try and slowly work his way up through the field, because it looks as though Furhan definitely has a pace advantage tonight. And if Westy finishes in second and gets 18 points, Josh would only need 6 points in the end, so a 7th position.
Yeah, so 7th place or better, really, and then Josh has got it, really. So Josh has probably got more of an advantage here. Josh one, so they've got to be careful. It's quite tough going into turn one, because you go up the hill, of course. So I wonder if people will be playing it safe, or will they just go for the moves and try and send it? I wouldn't send it if I were you until a couple of laps down the line where the field is more spread out a bit. But you never know, they may not be listening. It's the final race. For some of them, they can go all out because they know that they've lost the championship, and they could just settle for their positions potentially, to be honest. But the strategy is going to be even more critical for our championship contenders tonight.
Yeah, definitely. It's the final race of the season, like you said, so they'll be hoping to just have a bit of fun. I think some of these guys, Furhan hasn't really got anything to fight for, so he just wants to get the win, and he's finished second behind Louis the last 3 races in a row, which, if you've not seen Louis' performances in the previous races, you need to check them out. The man is on a different level, especially as on FOR we do allow some assists. Even in the leagues that allow no assists, he is one of the top drivers on F1 2019. I'm sure he will carry that on through F1 2020. We'll just have a quick mention of our sponsors who have made all this league possible for FOR. Thanks to Mixed Energy, and you can use the code FOR2020 to get 10% off their products with the code in the description. And there's also a link down in the description below to Player One Coffee, but you shouldn't need any coffee at the moment to keep you awake during this race. Sure, the next 28 laps are going to be oh so exciting. So we look at the tyres that everyone has gone for. Interestingly, that Paulie Orange, he's gone for the fresh, soft tyres, so he should be lightning in the first few laps.
Well, he's got a championship challenge, and this is his last race, so of course he wants to be faster on the first lap as well. He wants to get that challenge in and get some clear air, of course, and be on a similar strategy to the likes of Westy, for example. But if he doesn't get a lightning start, that could cost him, and he could possibly be way down the order as well. So it's a bit of a mixed bag for him, I think, but we'll have to wait and see as the race goes on.
Yeah, definitely. I know in 2018 it was Kimi Raikkonen who used the soft tyres to get past Lewis Hamilton on the start line, back when it was, I think, ultra softs and super softs and hyper softs and super duper softs and all the different names for tyres we seem to have back then. I'm glad it's just soft, mediums and hards. I think I've finally got used to it. It's taken me a year, but I'm finally used to calling the red tyre a soft.
Yay! Me too, to be honest, and I'm glad they haven't changed it for F1 2020, so thank you, Pirelli. That's another thing that we don't have to worry about getting used to. I think we just have to worry about the teams next season, but there we go.
Yeah, but we'll think about that when that comes. All about now, it is the final FOR race of the season, round 19 out of 19, and Furhan, he has a brilliantly clear view, and also there's quite a long way behind him. He's going to be sitting on the grid for a while, waiting for the rest of the drivers to form up. Thankfully for him, it is a short grid with championship leader Josh in last position on the grid. 3rd position tonight would secure him the championship, no matter what Westy and Paulie Orange do. The only way Westy's going to get it is a podium. He ideally needs a win, and for Paulie Orange, it is win or bust. In 28 laps time, we're going to find out the destiny of the championship as the 5 lights are on here at COTA. They go out and we are racing, and Westy's got a drive-through penalty for a jump start, but that's got him into the lead, so already it's a disaster for him. Josh trying to make his way up in the background. Third round, you've got Jonathan Cox. He's managed to sneak his way up into 3rd as Koala goes very wide. Droftas has had a nightmare start, dropping all the way down to the back of the field, but everyone through the first few corners cleanly. I say that, I think it was a racing point going well off circuit there of Jonathan Cox. He's now battling with Legend for 4th and 5th position, but it's Westy in the lead of the race. But with that drive-through penalty, Furhan must be looking pretty good, and that is the last thing the Williams driver needed.
Yep, he has to serve it within the next 3 laps, of course, otherwise he'll be disqualified, and that's going to probably get his confidence low. Meanwhile, his teammate YBR is having a battle with Alhan at the moment in 8th place, and he's looking pretty good on those soft tyres, of course, obviously, and he's looking to bounce back on his poor showing in the last few races, of course. Quite a few people trying to go for moves as well, as Koala going with move on Infamous Pillars. We've got Legend going on move on Jonathan Cox. It's just battle central here in FOR tonight, as Jonathan is going to try and go for the send. Yes, he does. Legend gets for the switch back. My oh my, I don't know how he's doing it. A little bit of banging wheels there, but they're having a little bit of fun. They're allowed to on the final race in FOR because you've got nothing more to lose, really. But, you know, Legend gets P4. I'm happy with his performance.
Yeah, and already they've dropped a second behind Silent Ace. That could be crucial once DRS gets involved, as Jonathan Cox sends it up the inside on the final corner. That is not a conventional overtaking spot, but he's still going for it. He now tucks in behind Legend as Westie's pitted. He's serving that drive-through penalty earlier. Remember, he can't stop and he can't change his tyres. As we see now, Jonathan Cox trying to go round the outside of Koala, who stuck himself up into there. The Racing Point comes out in third. Koala side by side with the Toro Rosso of Legend, who in the end has to tuck behind. So Silent Ace is up to second, Jonathan Cox third, but Fairhan in the lead of this race, as Jonathan Cox has already picked himself up a 3-second time penalty. He's been really involved in the action in these first few laps.
Yeah, he has. He's getting into it at the moment. Quite a few other people have gained quite a few positions as well. Silent Ace, Jonathan Cox, Paulie Orange is now up into 7th. And he could potentially get that position back from Aiden in 8th place. And I think he does. Yes, he does. So he's gained 5 positions along with Josh. That's the most crucial bit. Josh in 9th place. 2 more positions, and then he could be a crucial spot in potentially taking the title. And oh my God, it could potentially be 2 or 3 wide, potentially going into turn 12. And looks like Paulie Orange is saying, no, thank you. You're not having that position. There's is my P7, not yours. His next job now is catching Infamous Pillars.
Yeah, definitely up in front. Koala and Jonathan Cox side by side again, and Jonathan Cox just holding on to this position. That is allowing the front two to get away. You can see it's 2.6 seconds already. Reminder, you need to be within a second of the car in front to get DRS, so this is going to make it very hard for Jonathan Cox to defend. They'll have it on the pit straight next time around, but most importantly, they will have it on that back straight between turns 11 and 12. If things stay as they are, Josh would be champion, especially with Westie way down in last place as Koala goes down the inside. That's a very late move from the Red Bull on the Racing Point. They're coming out of the corner side by side still. Who's going to blink first in this battle between the two of them? And I think in the end Jonathan Cox has to just give up the position there to avoid compromising himself too much. Great racing from the pair of them. Koala up into third as he chases his first podium of the season, but he could be in a bit of trouble down this next straight with DRS, of course, and Legend, Infamous Pillars, Paulie Orange, Aylin, Josh, Andenge, YBR, Hibilu, Droftas. Each one of them will have their rear wing opening down here. We're going to have a good old-fashioned DRS train.
Oh, this is great. That's what I like about USA. I mean, it always brings up DRS trains when a lot of cars get into it, but for some of them it may be a little bit too OP, and for some of them they find it a little bit more challenging, as we've got a potential battle happening. No, that's not going to happen. But meanwhile, Koala's gone off the circuit a little bit almost. That's going to allow Jonathan Cox to catch up just a little bit. Only 2 tenths separate between the pair of them now. And behind them, we've got Josh going for a move nearly in exactly the same corner on Aylin, up into 8th place. This is what he wants right now. Infamous Pillars is what he needs to do now, to be honest. Paulie Orange has got past him now, and he potentially could get past these two squats for a battle as Verhan goes into the pit lane.
That is an extremely early stop, I must say. That's surely going to be for the hard tyres this early on. I think what we saw with Koala going off top was Jonathan Cox absolutely sending it from a different postcode, or zip code, I suppose we should say, as we're in America, on the inside of Koala. Thankfully, no damage done. I've also got to say on that lap, very opportunistic move by Paulie Orange down the inside into turn 11. So before you even get the DRS, he was down the inside on those soft tyres. He's really determined to win as he tries to put some cars in between himself and Josh. He doesn't want to get stuck in traffic. He should still have the best tyres at this point in the race. Fairhand's gone onto the mediums. Westie is pitted for the hard tyres as Josh is now up into 6th place, getting past Infamous Pillars. He said he might be a bit shocking tonight. His driving's definitely been electrifying, I must say.
Yeah, I think most of these guys, it must be filled with excitement being the last race, and they just want to have a bit of fun, you know. And Paulie Orange must be loving life on those soft tyres, and I think the strategy, cool. I think he's played it right. I was a bit wide at one point, but he had a good start, and that's benefited him a little bit as well. And YBR has dropped a few positions now. He's down into 12th place, and I hate to say it, the Williams are having a bad day at the office, and Hibili up into 10th place, and at the moment, as it stands, he's in the points.
Yeah, in the points. Everyone's still running. Him and Droftas has been having a battle, and as you said, YBR, maybe those softs just beginning to wear a bit, but I still think it was a very early stop, especially from Ferhan and Westy. Ferhan on the medium tyres, I'd be surprised if he can get them to last 25 laps. Surely he's committed himself to a two-stop strategy.
Nah. It's going to be close. I think they may be expecting a safety car potentially. Oh my goodness. Legend was trying to go for the send there, but Paulie Orange with the comeback. That's another position gained for the Haas driver. He's on a mission and he wants to get this title, but it's going to be tough to follow, I must say. So Paulie Orange must win though, but never say never for Paulie Orange.
Yeah, he's going to be fighting tooth and nail at the moment as we get the lap gaps to the leader. He's 3.4 seconds behind Silent Ace, 11.6 seconds ahead of Ferhan, but we are expecting Ferhan to possibly have to make the second stop, so he'll be hoping for the safety car as the Haas is now in DRS range of Jonathan Cox, who did just still have it on Koala, but has dropped a long way behind as the Haas now pulls to the inside line. This should be a fairly straightforward move down into turn 12 on the slightly fresher tyres, and no, Jonathan Cox finding the grip on those more worn tyres. They've only done 4 laps in the race, but let's not forget Jonathan Cox had qualified on those tyres as well, so he's doing very well. And a good evening to all those that are talking in the chat. I'm glad you're enjoying tonight's action. Silent Ace 1.7 seconds ahead of Koala, with Jonathan Cox and Paulie Orange still battling hard, and I don't think it'll be too long before we see a few of these drivers maybe coming into the pits.
And speaking of that, we've got a few drivers in the pits now. We've got Legend that goes into the pits as well. Quite a few people picking up time penalties already, and I think Legend is the only one to blink at this stage. Another person that is going to gamble on the potential 1-stop potential, maybe 2-stop, as Paulie Orange again through turn 1 does an almighty send, and that's him another position, another podium position. Could we be on course to see another position gain? He's gained up quite a bit on Koala right now. I mean, he means business today.
Yeah, he's really going for it, and like we said, he has to win to have any chance, and needs Josh to finish well down the order, and at the moment Josh's 5th place would be more than good enough, with Paulie Orange only 3rd and Westy way down in last place. Legend coming out on the medium tyres as well, so perhaps more realistic that he could get them to the end, but they're still not going to be in the best condition in the final few stages, as Jonathan Cox, he's now too busy defending from Josh to think about anything. He does have DRS, and he's going to force Josh to the inside line. Down the inside goes the Renault. Later on the brakes, on the medium tyres, runs wide there, and Jonathan Cox is going to get that place back, and Josh will be trying to send it down the inside, I'm sure, into turn 15. We see it so often. There goes the cutback, and there goes the Renault up into 4th position, just forcing Jonathan Cox off the track slightly, but he had the racing line. Nothing Jonathan Cox can do about that, and the softs on that racing point are beginning to look a bit past their best, you've got to say.
Yeah, I think so, and I think that's a sign for Jonathan Cox to go to the pit. He's seen Josh on the mediums go past him, and he was struggling, Jonathan Cox, so that's him. A trip to the mediums he goes on, almost certainly, as Josh is now going to look quite good on those mediums now, as he's catching up again on those mediums. I think the soft runners will need to pit now in order to stand a chance of gaining positions right now, because we know that Josh will be hunting down.
Yeah, definitely those mediums are going to be the best tyre, and you can see how hard he is hunting them down. He's got a straight 3-second time penalty for corner cutting, so that will get added on at the end of the race, of course, but he's 1.9 seconds behind Paulie Orange, and he will be closing that gap. It's only Silent Ace, Paulie Orange and Enge, and this man, Alan, in the McLaren. He's not had the best couple of races over the last few races, but he's in 5th at the moment, still on them soft tyres, but surely won't be too long before he is heading into the pit lane. The first man who pitted 4 tyres and the original leader of this race, the pole sitter, Ferhan, he's got DRS open on the Toro Rosso and nothing Ibilu can do about that at the moment. Easy move from Ferhan. I don't think his teammate Droftas up ahead will make it too hard as well.
Yeah, that is how the teammates are going to help around it. This is crucial, especially on the back straight earlier on in turn 11 and 12. That's gonna be. I think Droftas is gonna play a little bit of team orders potentially as well to help Ferhan climb his way up the standings, or Droftas preferred to be up the standings more than Ferhan. We'll have to wait and see. I wonder what James, the team strategist, will be thinking of right now. Will it be Ferhan this is James, or Droftas this is James? We'll see.
Well, I think I know what I'd definitely do if I was a strategist at the moment. If I was Ferhan, I'd be banging on the radio to get Droftas out of the way. There's not much tyre age difference, but they're on different strategies, because I still think with the pace Ferhan is showing, he is on a 2-stop strategy, and you can see there Droftas just letting him by at the exit of turn 1. So well done from the 2 Mercedes boys there, swapping positions, and that is Ferhan up into 6th place. He's only 9 seconds off of Silent Ace and Paulie Orange, who have still yet to pit. I'm not surprised Paulie Orange has gone a bit longer, given the fact that he has those tyres fresh at the start of the race. I don't think it'll be too long before we're seeing the Haas driver take the lead of this race as well. Just struggling a bit on traction, both the Ferrari and the Haas coming down the straight. It's the Works team versus the Customer team, but I don't think the team from Maranello are going to have any defence from that Haas. But in the end, Paulie Orange just not able to get close enough. Is he going to pit this lap? It wouldn't surprise me if it's a situation where he does the opposite of Silent Ace, just try and get a bit of free air.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I would do the right thing and do the undercut for Paulie Orange, unless Silent Ace does the same thing. But you got to respond either way, to be honest. If Silent Ace pits, you pit. If he doesn't pit, you pit. I mean, he's got to pit either way. And they're both staying out. So maybe they're playing the long game tonight.
Yeah, well, they need to, I'd say, hurry up playing the long game, but I'm not quite sure that makes sense, because all of a sudden Josh is now right on the tail of these. He's caught up over a second just on that lap. Alan has pitted for the soft tyres, off the soft tyres. You see there Josh down the inside of Paulie Orange, who's just had no grip coming out of that corner. He is now in 3rd position. Koala, fastest man out on circuit at the moment. So Silent Ace, Paulie Orange still yet to pit. Josh has worked his way up from 14th to 2nd. I'll tell you what, I wish I was as bad as Josh thinks he was tonight, because he's been lightning fast once again. Could well be leading this race very shortly. As you can see, Silent Ace struggling to keep the Ferrari on the track. He's not going to have a go into turn 11, but I think this time around Silent Ace is going to have absolutely no defence, as the Renault bit of wheel banging. He's on the inside before we even open DRS. And that is it. Josh, last to first in the space of 9 laps, takes the lead of this race. Silent Ace desperately getting underneath the rear wing of that Renault just to ensure he has some defence from Paulie Orange. And Dench is now in 4th position, and Ferhan 6 seconds off the lead of this race on those medium tyres. With the pace he's showing at the moment, he could well make a 2-stop work for the victory if that is what he chooses to do.
Yeah, that's the good thing about USA. It can throw a spanner in the works in the strategy. Maybe the 1 stop is faster, maybe the 2 stop is faster. We won't know. That's why we're in the commentary box rather than racing tonight. So, they've got to be on their A game, to be honest. As Silent Ace, he's going into the pits. And does Paulie Orange know? No, he stays out. So, I think he should have reacted to Silent Ace, but he didn't.
Yeah, those softs are going to be well past their best at the moment. So Silent Ace, he'll be going on to the medium tyres. That is a certainty. We'll just see where he comes out, possibly ahead of Westy, I think just behind Jonathan Cox. So he'll still be in the points, and he'll have fresher tyres towards the end of this race, about 4 or 5 laps fresher than most of the field, it seems. So Ferhan will on board with now in 4th position. He's got well ahead of his teammate and Denj the next target. This might be a bit more awkward given the fact that there is only 3 laps tyre difference, and obviously Anden's on the mediums. He'll be staying on them for quite a few laps yet.
Yeah, potentially, and some of these guys, they want to push it as far into the race as possible, so then they can make the 2-stop strategy work, potentially. Maybe it may bring some of the lower people into contention as well, if they want to try and make this two-stop work as well. You never know. We may see a safety car that may give a free pit stop, but we haven't seen a safety car yet, touch wood. And I hope it doesn't happen, but at least it will spice things up just a little bit more. But, you know, Josh has got a lot of work to do, but Josh could go either way here. He could either go two-stop or either go one-stop.
Yeah, we'll have to see what tyres Josh goes on to. We're hoping to stretch it, that he can put the softs on for the final stint of this race, but you can just see the advantage he's got on those mediums over Paulie Orange at the moment. 2.4 seconds, and this lap, is the Haas driver pitting? No, he is not. Going a very long way on these soft tyres, and that could well be crucial. Westy down in 11th, the only person to go on the hards, and Ferhan, he in the end proved me wrong. DRS making it very straightforward for him to get past Anden, so he's back up onto a podium position. Droftas pitting after only 10 laps on the medium tyres and going for the soft, so he thinks medium soft is the best strategy for him, because if it's unlikely Ferhan's going to manage 25 laps on the mediums, it is impossible to do 18 on the softs. What do you think Westy will be thinking at this point in the race? 10th place on the hard tyres. He'll have no worries about them getting to the end, but they are definitely the unloved race tyre out of the three options you get. It's very rare you see anyone go for the hard tyres unless they've had a problem in the first lap or two.
Yeah, I mean, I think Westy is playing the long game in a way. He wants everyone else to have a bad race, to be honest, but it can happen. But around here, especially around the S section, the hards take a long time to warm up, so the best chance for Westy to perform is pretty much towards the end of their sell-by date, really. And you know, I mean, he's in the points at the moment, but it's not going to be quite enough for him to claim the title if he's done that. So yeah, I mean, I would have gone on the hards if I was him, but you know, he wants to play his cards right.
Yeah, we'll have to see how it works. Infamous Pillars unable to get past him, but Silent Ace has managed an overtake on Jonathan Cox, and that is the Ferrari using the slightly fresher tyre life, as in fact the Racing Point sends it up the inside. Bit of wheel banging between the two of them as Jonathan Cox just gets ahead. There's a tap once again. That sends the Racing Point wide. I don't think he'll be too happy about that. They are going side by side through 18 and 19, and now the Racing Point finally has to relent, and it's finally that Paulie Orange comes into the pits. He's back out on the medium tyres, so he's going for one-stop strategy, obviously having started on the softs, and he should be quick towards the end, but you can see down in 9th position, he's got a long way to go. In the lead of this race though, Josh 4.8 seconds ahead of Ferhan at the moment. He'll be able to go quite long into this race. You'd say at least another 5 or 6 laps, I imagine, before we see the Renault driver pitting. And then the big question for this race will be, does the Mercedes have to pit again?
And another major question as well, penalties as well. That can come into play. Pretty much, I think almost everyone will get penalties apart from a few people. The less penalties you get, the more positions you gain. Simple as that. And I think some of these guys have got to make sure they keep it much cleaner. And Jonathan Cox just got a penalty earlier, so that's not going to help him in the slides as well. So quite a few things to think about at the moment. The battles are pretty much quieting down at the moment, apart from Paulie Orange and Jonathan Cox. Paulie Orange got a bit closer to Jonathan Cox into turn 12, but he's not going to go ahead of him in this lap at least, but maybe pretty soon as well. Alien almost getting past Droftas as well. He's doing well on those medium tyres, that's for sure, but Droftas on fresh softs? We'll have to wait and see if that works towards the end, but you never know, he could prove us wrong.
And if it does work, he's going to have to get past the Williams of Westy pretty sharp, as I imagine into turn 1 is where he'll be looking to enact to overtake on that Williams. And I think the Haas of Paulie Orange, he'll be hoping for something similar to keep his slim championship hopes alive. Hibilu comes into the pits off the mediums at the end of 12 laps, so it's interesting to see what tyres he goes for. As there we go, Paulie Orange down the inside into turn 1 on Jonathan Cox. We know Jonathan will try and hold it off around the outside, just gets on the curb on exit, and that could cost him the traction that he needs to hold the position. And there we go, Jonathan Cox takes that 7th place, and Droftas, he managed to get his way ahead of Westy, so he's got a bit of free air now to use these soft tyres before he pits for the softs again. It's going to be difficult, I think, for that Mercedes to get into the points. The other Mercedes, though, looking pretty good at the moment. 4.3 seconds behind Josh with 15.5 laps remaining. and Denge, the only driver yet to pit, and he'll be begging for a safety car.
Yeah, it'll be a free pit stop for him, but that's probably not gonna happen unless people make a mistake. But they're quite clean drivers, the ones remaining in this race, so probably it has to be a monumental shunt for that to happen, and that's probably not going to happen in a while. But we have seen surprises. We have seen surprises in real life. We may see some here as well, but we have to wait and see, of course, as interesting tyre where we could see around here. I wonder if we'll see people going to puncher territory. I think it'll be close, that's for sure. We did see a puncher last week, I believe. I can't remember who it was, but it was a crazy race last week. If you're watching, make sure you check that out after this one, of course. But yeah, it was quite intense, that's for sure. You never knew what was going to happen.
Yeah, Paulie Orange sets the fastest lap of the race, and Jonathan Cox has just pulled into the pits. I was going to say, this is an interesting strategy. He's retired from the race, so there is our first retirement. But with it being in the pit lane, no risk of a safety car. Hibilu came out on the hard tyres, so that promotes him up into 13th as he goes for the quest to get his first point of the season. And Paulie Orange absolutely flying. He should be within DRS of Silent Ace this time around. This is going to be very close for the Haas driver. He's really looking to make his way up this weekend. We'll see as it comes around this corner. He's about 0.9 seconds, I think, as we got around that bit, and you can see he's used all of his ERS up. Once you get below 10%, it goes to orange, and that pretty much means you are getting no electrical energy. 150 horsepower, pretty much a very powerful Ford Fiesta, as we've seen YBR off the circuit there, broken his front wing, well off the track though, so shouldn't call a safety car.
Safety car! Oh, I jinxed it.
I was just about to say he's a long way off track and we shouldn't see even a virtual safety car, but we now might see a few of these drivers dive into the pits. Josh obviously completely forgot when I said Andenge was the only driver not to pit yet. Josh hasn't pitted. Fairhand's going to come in for fresh tyres as well, so if he wasn't on a 2-stop, that is going to help him. And Denge really finds himself gaining time here. There's going to be some big gainers in this pit situation. Josh and Andenge definitely just getting a free pit stop. Josh on the soft tyres, Fairhand on the softs, and Denge, he'll have to go for the soft tyres as well, having started on the medium. So this is going to be very interesting indeed. All the field, well, just as I say that, Koala goes for the mediums. 14 laps. It's a long time on those soft tyres, but they won't be doing full pace for the next 2 to 3 laps, and they're on a much reduced fuel load to earlier, so it'll be pretty edgy towards the end, but I think they'll make it.
They will. Almost certainly. I think 3 laps, few laps, I think, on the safety car, that should be absolutely fine. I don't think they'll be punter territory, but they're going to lose a lot of pace. But I wonder what I would have done if I was in Paulie Orange's situation. I think we've got Josh and Fairhand. They're going to pull away at the start, but towards the end, Paulie Orange can come back at them again. I mean, I think Josh has got the most to lose in this situation. If he bottles this, he's bottled the championship. If he stays where he is, he's won. That is as simple as that. As long as he gets a podium, at least he was won the championship, regardless of what Westy and Paulie Orange does. That's how confident he is right now. He could just have a lot of fun the last essentially 10 laps of full racing.
Yeah, definitely. He is going to be so light on these tyres under the safety car, as well Fairhand will be. Paulie Orange, I can see what he's done here. He's just gone for the track position, gained himself a few places, up into 3rd, and those mediums fairly fresh anyway, so Koala Legend won't have too much of an advantage, as will those further down, but Silent Ace and Andenge, they'll be hoping to make their way past Paulie Orange. But like you said, Jess, the race is going to come through to them, and Hibilu, he just pitted for the hard tyres. He's decided to stay out on them. I think it's going to be tough to stay in the points with those faster guys behind them on a quicker set of tyres, but after his jump start, this brings Westy right back into the fray here.
You never know, he could still get a point. We'll have to wait and see. Of course, I think Westy was praying for a safety car, and that's like everybody else just to catch up just a little bit. I think as soon as YBR catches up, that will mean the safety car will come in after that.
Yeah, YBR obviously causing that safety car going off at, I think it was about turn 8 or 9 he went off in the Williams, losing his front wing well off the circuit, but in the end, the stewards always ever so safe since Codemasters released one of the most recent updates, and the safety car has come out. And what that means is we're going to have a banzai final 11 or 12 laps of this FOR season. You can check out all the rest of the races on YouTube and the F2 season, which featured a few of these drivers and was won in the end by Lee Finlay. And there'll be more information about the 2020 season coming out soon, and I definitely can't wait for Tuesday. Jess, how about you?
Yeah, I'm excited. I pre-ordered the game on PS4 and I got the countdown on X. I pre-ordered it digitally, of course, and I just want midnight Tuesday to come, really. I'm so excited.
Yeah, so excited that you booked it off work, and I'm definitely not jealous of you or myself for not thinking of that idea. So the safety car still in the lead. Familiar sight seeing a Mercedes at the lead of the field, whether the safety car is out or not in real Formula 1, as Verhan trying to light up his tyres, get a bit of heat into those softs, because even though the safety car will be going at some fair rate of knots, this is not the speed Formula 1 cars like going at. Those tyres can be pretty cold, especially like Paulie Oranges, who've done a few more laps. I know I said tyre life shouldn't be an effect for him, but once the tyres have done a few laps, they don't warm up as easily.
No, they don't, especially if they're on the hards and the safety car is in this lap. That is a bit earlier than I thought, but everyone has caught up, so to be expected, of course. And Josh is now controlling the pace, and it's up to him, really. If he messes up, it's his problem.
Yeah, we have seen a few 5-second penalties before for collisions under the safety car when Verhan taps the back of Josh, no damage done. Verhan got it wrong in Singapore, nearly caught the safety car up, had to slam on the brakes, and that caused a concertina effect in the midfield. But Josh controlling the pace now. When is he going to floor it? It's all worked out well for him. He's got a podium in every race he's competed in FOR. Repeating that tonight will give him the championship. It looks like he only finishing 5th or 6th, and that'll be good enough. As here we go then. Final 12 laps of this season just about to start. Verhan has managed to stay with Josh. I'll have no DRS for the next 2 laps. We are racing once again, and that was a very good start by the Mercedes of Verhan. He's going to go for the lead here, down the inside of Josh into turn 1, and that is a Mercedes with a brilliant restart there, getting ahead of Josh, who tries to hold off around the outside, not able to do so. And we saw Verhan was eager to keep on the back of Josh, who was wide awake there, retakes the lead of this race, which he had, of course, earlier on before his early pit stop. Can Josh stay in contact? And how long will it be before these tyres pull away from Paulie Orange? How long before Paulie Orange starts coming under real pressure from Andenge?
It's going to be a tight one. Most people could get their best results of the season if they stay as they are, of course, but the ones I've got to worry about are the ones on the mediums. They've got a lot of work to do if they want to get past these soft runners, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's Andenge now looking already for a move on Paulie Orange. Josh thought about it on Verhan as well, but Andenge has committed. Down the inside he goes, back up into 3rd position. He was a real big beneficiary alongside Josh of that safety car, so we could see the Alfa Romeo get a surprise podium here. I don't think he would have expected that after being the slowest car in qualifying. Further back, Silent Ace unable to get ahead of Legend at the moment, but he's managed to pull back the gap to Drofdas and Wested managed to get ahead of Habilu, who is in 10th position, and I think his quest for points is unfortunately going to be fruitless unless we have another safety car. So we're on to the start of lap 18, fastest lap of the race for Verhan. Can he get the pole win and fastest lap hat-trick that we've seen Louis get at the last 3 races? No one man who's going to be trying to stop him, and he's right behind him in the Renault at the moment, Josh. They've already got a 1.3 second gap over Andenge in the Alfa.
Yep, and you get a point no matter where you are in the grid if you get fastest lap. If you're 1st, 2nd, or even 11th, 12th, or 13th, as long as you finish, of course, and you get the fastest lap, you get the point. So at the moment, that does belong to Verhan. Yes, it does. So can any one of the ones in the top 10 stop him who's on the softs? We'll have to wait and see. Silent Ace has got another penalty as well. That might bring Drofdas and Westy back in it as well if they get less penalties. I haven't seen much penalties from those 2 crop up pretty soon as well. Josh is even close on Verhan going in to the DRS straight. This could be make or break for Josh. As long as he's in the top 3, he's confirmed. So he doesn't want to make too many mistakes at the moment. So he's done the right thing to hold back on Verhan for now.
Yeah, with the positions as they are at the moment, even if he retired, that would bump Paulie Orange and Westy over place, but they're still not high enough up the field to score any points, as we're seeing to beat him in the championship, as YBR and Hibil and Infamous Pillars were battling there for 12th and 13th, and the Ferrari getting ahead. YBR looking a bit scruffy at the moment as he's just struggling to get a bit of power out of that corner on those medium tyres. But Josh, he had no ERS on that back straight last time, so wasn't really going for the lead of this race. We'll have to see now. DRS will be enabled next time around. These have extended their gap over Andenge, who is slowly pulling away from Paulie Orange as he tries to secure that podium. And I'm surprised Silent Ace hasn't made his way through the field a bit quicker on these soft tyres.
Maybe due to the fact that he's not good or more pace potentially compared to his rivals, who are potentially quicker on the mediums potentially, but the mediums are about 1.5 seconds slower than the soft. So maybe it may be due to his setup potentially, or he may just not be getting to grips on those soft tyres. Well, you know, but he may just be playing it safe for now. He wants to get those soft until the end, and then towards the end, this is where he'll really come alive, because you know it is hard to say if the soft will last till the end or not. So he's keeping his options open, I think.
Yeah, and Josh, this time around, I thought he was just about to go for the overtake at the last minute. It's not quite close enough to Ferhan, just getting caught in that dirty air ever so slightly as Westy, he makes another place up ahead of Droftas, Aylin and Infamous Pillars, getting past Hibilu. The hard tyres really not working for the Toro Rosso driver at the moment. He's down into 12th, so that is the McLaren up into the points. The Williams of Westy up into 8th position, but he needs to work his way up the order just a bit more. Josh still all over the back of Ferhan. The Mercedes looking pretty good on ERS at the moment. Josh does have a 3-second penalty, I know, to be added on at the end of this race. It could really do with getting ahead of Ferhan at the moment. It's getting a bit overcast, no rain forecast for the final 9 laps. It's going to be oh so exciting. Who takes the victory here? Ferhan just running a bit wide, gets a better exit out of the corner though, so won't be too bothered about that. Josh has to spend another sector stuck in the dirty air, and these S's, if you're stuck behind a car for too long, that could really destroy these soft tyres. He needs to get this move done sooner rather than later.
Not just the soft tyres, Luke. I think also the ERS as well. I think both of these car drivers are pushing each other just to use their ERS a little bit more. But Josh, I think, has got more to worry about than Verhan. Verhan has got plenty at the moment, so the more Josh tries but stays behind, the more ERS he uses. So he must save them for sure if he wants to stand a chance of taking a victory. So here comes Josh now. This could be his chance. He braces past Verhan, but can Verhan respond to him? I don't think he can. Potentially, no, he's not. They can't make contact. Wow, that could change everything regarding the championship. He's not going to get any points.
Josh is just recovered ahead of Aylin. Thankfully for him, there was a bit of a gap, and thankfully no safety car. He's gone again. He's overheated the rear tyres, obviously getting back on circuit. He's down in last position. Has Ferhan got any damage on that Mercedes? We see a lot of wheel banging coming out of that corner, and to be fair, it's the first time tonight we've seen it go wrong. So that is Paulie Orange up into 3rd position. Who knows, maybe he just needs to gain a couple of places, and those mediums will be lightning hot at the end of this race. And Denge now has DRS on Ferhan, but not able to close up. Josh has just got to stay patient. Has he got any damage? I can't see any damage on the Renault, so thankfully for him, he'll be able to carry on. But that is all it takes. A bit of contact sent both cars spinning around. Ferhan was able to recover it easier than Josh, though, who's lost so many places, but that could change everything. Paulie Orange in 3rd, Westy in 7th. A reminder, if Josh stays in this position at the moment, getting no points, Paulie Orange would need to win. Westy would need to finish in 3rd position to have any chance of taking the championship. It's got oh so more exciting with 8 laps to go.
And penalties can change this. Paulie Orange had the least, had the less chance out of anyone, out of the contenders, out of Josh and out of Westy, to win the title. Who would have thought it that Paulie Orange could have the best chance now of taking the title in this position? I mean, this is just gone on its head. at the moment. I mean, and they're going to hope that Andenge and Verhan make a similar mistake to let Paulie Orange take this thing. You never know. I'm not going to check penalties. I'm just going to let this watch this race unfold, because this is getting absolutely tense right now.
Yeah, but Verhan and Andenge are not really getting away from Paulie Orange, Koala, Legend, Silent Ace, all those others because of the DRS and managing to stay in contact. And Andenge just running a bit wide through that triple apex right-hander at 16 to 18, stays in the second place now on the final 7 laps. Verhan still in the lead. Josh down in last position. He'll be hoping to climb his way up and just at least get a point or two, make it harder for either Paulie Orange or Westy to take this championship. It's still enough at the moment if things stay as they are for Josh. And Paulie Orange, last time around, he wasn't really close enough to Andenge to attack. He was more worried about defending from behind, but I'd say this is about the point on these tyre life, especially for those that have got the fresh mediums, where they will be in better condition than the softs. Paulie Orange took them 11 laps earlier. These drivers are going to have to take them 14, as Josh is pushing oh so hard at the moment to get himself back up into the points, a bit too hard as he gets himself a penalty. Paulie Orange still not close enough to Andenge to have a go. Likewise with Koala on the Haas, he just pulls out of the slipstream. In fact, he's gone for it at the very last minute. Paulie Orange sees him coming, but I was a bit too optimistic from Koala and he had to dunk out of that. But you just seen how easy it could have been. Koala just locked up a brake there, snatched a front brake. He could have sent himself and the Haas spinning around.
Look at this, because of this battle that is happening, that's brought Legend in this battle, Koala potentially, and also Silent Ace potentially too, if he could get those softs under control. This is going to turn on its head even more, and we like this in the final race of the season. Every single driver is giving it their all, and look who's behind all those people. Westy.
Yeah, Westy in 7th position at the moment on fresher medium tyres than Paulie Orange, but the same age as those on Koala and Legends. Silent Ace of softs. He's not been able to make good use of them in 6th position at the moment, and Verhan and Andenge not being able to escape. They could really do with getting out of the DRS zone of those behind, because in the final 2 to 3 laps, those behind on the medium should surely have way more pace. Josh has managed to close up to Habilo ever so slightly, but he's still 4.7 seconds off of Alan with 6 laps to go, so points definitely possible still for the Renault driver, and he'll be hoping that he does manage to sneak his way up. Westy very close to the back of Silent Ace this time around. You can see the Ferrari just going a bit deeper there. That allows him to get a straighter exit though on the end of the corner. They're both going to have DRS. This is the closest battle we're seeing at the moment in the points positions. Is for Williams going to be able to send it up the inside into turn 12? No, thinks better of it this time around. And this could end up saving Josh in the end. The fact that Westy's not able to fight his way up through the order, and that Paulie Orange possibly too busy defending from Koala to even think about attacking the Alfa Romeo ahead of him.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder what they'll be thinking for Jeff. I mean, they've got to be asking about the penalties, and you can tell that Westy is fighting because he knows that obviously if he gets past these lot, he can gain quite a few positions from it as well. He's probably, what Westy needs to do is push other people to get a penalty, and he should be fine.
Yeah, if I'm being honest, I think this would definitely be a shut up Jeff moment from me. I don't think I'd be wanting too many information or weather reports or anything from Jeff. He could stay nice and quiet if I was driving at the moment. Verhan, he's keeping that gap just under a second ahead of Andenge, who's now under a lot more pressure from Paulie Orange, so maybe we are seeing the softs beginning to wear, especially through these S's. Further back through the field, Josh, he's having no such problem though, up into 11th. Now 4 seconds behind Alan. Can he get himself back into the points and just make Westy and Paulie Orange's jobs that little bit harder? We will have to see. Verhan goes deep into turn 11. Thankfully for him, Andenge isn't close enough, but Paulie Orange right under the rear wing of the Alfa Romeo. This could be a crucial move for the championship. He needs to get past Andenge as quickly as possible, but he's got no ERS, so even though they've both got DRS, he tries to go round the outside, just not able to do anything. He's still there. Andenge has seen him. Is he going to close the door on him? And no, the Haas not able to do anything. Paulie Orange needs to save a bit of ERS, I feel, if he wants to overtake Andenge, because you could see, as soon as he pulled out of the slipstream, he lost all pace, and Koala, he was trying to have a nibble at the Haas as well.
Koala wants to get points on his final race, obviously, because he has got his teammate Louis, and that'll be a good finish for the Red Bull team for potentially. And that's one important thing, actually. Since Josh is back in the picture, well, Josh was back in the picture. If Josh doesn't get any points, that's definitely a win in the constructors for Red Bull.
Yeah, definitely, indeed. I think they might have just about had it secured, given the fact there is only one Renault tonight. But definitely now that Josh will be getting no points as it stands, the advantage of them softs will be going rapidly. So here we go. Final 4 laps of the race. Paulie Orange just needs to work his way a second ahead of these drivers at the moment. He's got Andenge just ahead, and Ferhan, and the softs are wearing out. Westy in the 6th position as Legend picks himself up a penalty. This is going to go down to the flag and penalties as to who takes the championship here. You can see them all bunching together. 1.6 seconds separating the top 5, 2.2 separating the top 6. Any one of these could end up winning the race, as this time around Paulie Orange again has DRS on Andenge, who has it on Ferhan. Again though, Paulie Orange, no energy from the hybrid system, has to settle for that this time around as Westy down the inside of Legend. That is 5th position for Westy. He's beginning to make some move in the Williams.
Yeah, and if Paulie Orange doesn't get the win, Westy needs to get 2 more positions and he claims the title. Oh, that was almost intense between Ferhan and Andenge. My oh my, this will get interesting. I think Josh must be intense right now, because not one but 2 scenarios could happen in the space of a few laps in such a short space of time.
Yeah, indeed. Andenge yet to have a win this season. He picked up a couple in F2. He's fighting for all his life at the moment. As we can see now, Paulie Orange again just dropping back behind Andenge. Ferhan going very late defensive. There's Paulie Orange, taps the back of Andenge. Just about manages to keep it pointing in the right direction. Stays in 3rd place. Koala was unable to fight back. Drofdas has got ahead of Surface for a brief while before the Ferrari fights back into 7th. Those soft tyres on Surface, he wasn't able to make best use of them, and he's now dropping down the field. Josh still 4.3 seconds behind Aylan, so with the few penalties as well, I can't see Josh picking up any points today. It's just whether Paulie Orange and Westy can make their way up through the field. And Denge having to go defensive into turn 11. That could compromise him this time around. He's going to have a much worse exit than Paulie Orange, who will have DRS, as will the Alfa Romeo. This is going to be a straight drag race, and I think at the moment the Alfa Romeo will just about win ahead. They're both low on the ERS. Who's going to do it on the brakes? As Koala!
Koala!
Koala comes down the outside. They're 3 wide there, and in the end Koala gets to a pair of them. Fantastic move from the Red Bull. He's up into second as Westy's now battling with Paulie Orange. There's contact between the Haas and the Williams. This is all kicking off now as he tries to cut back on the Haas driver, not able to do so. Let's not forget, Paulie Orange didn't pit under the safety car, so he has older tyres than all those behind him. That's going to be a big help for Josh, and surely now that Koala's up into second, it is advantage for him. 2 laps to go at the end of this one. Can Koala claim a fantastic first victory? And who is going to win the championship? Paulie Orange needs to move up 3 places. Westy needs to move up 2, as now Paulie Orange on the back of Van Denge once again. The Alfa Romeo still going defensive and will hold off that position for now. Westy not able to get the move done, and he's surely going to have to follow through the S's, although Paulie Orange got a tail slide on there coming through and just hangs on to the position. But that has allowed the front 2 to get away. Now Andenge won't have DRS this time around, and you can see how much he's struggling for grip in the Alfa Romeo.
I think because of this, I think that's a disadvantage Paulie Orange, and I think this is more of a chance for Westy now to get the title more than anyone else right now. I think Josh is hoping these two make a mistake, as Andenge is going to try and go for a move. Westy, I think, has to sit back for the time being, as Paulie Orange is now in 3rd place, and I think he's a little bit too further behind the top 2. But Koala is going to get a move for the lead on track. Can he do it? Yes, he can. He's on course to get his first victory in FRR. Could we see another straight victory for the Red Bull? We've seen Louis 1, 2 or 3 times this season. We could be on for a 4th for Koala.
Yeah, so Koala in the lead of this race. Ferhan, is he going to be another race where he finishes 2nd behind a Red Bull? It looks as though going for the mediums was the best choice now. There's only going to be one lap remaining of this race, one lap remaining of this championship, and we still don't know who is going to win it. If Westy overtakes Paulie Orange, it will be the Williams. If he doesn't, it will be Josh down in 11th place, who definitely won't be scoring any points at the moment. You know, it might have been worth him pitting and just trying to get the fastest lap point just to try and steal something away here, as Westy ends up having to stay behind Paulie Orange. I think this is all going to come down to whether that Haas can stay within a second of Furhan and get DRS on the final lap, because that might help him. And you can just see Furhan has got no grip whatsoever. In fact, the Mercedes, he could end up dropping behind the Haas and the Williams here.
Maybe Westy can claim the title. I think Furhan is struggling on those soft tyres. Maybe that's definitely the wrong decision for him. You never know. And Josh has got a penalty, but that's not going to affect him anyway. Oh, Paulie Orange struggling a little bit there, as well as Furhan. Furhan is having a little bit of lag issues as well for some of these drivers, and that's allowing Koala to pull off a massive gap over everybody else. Surely that's the win sealed and gained for Koala. Meanwhile, Furhan's going to try and get the move on Paulie Orange, and I think he stays in P2 for the time being. Westy's got to make one more position. Yes, one position, and that's his title dreams alive. This could be it. Oh my God, this is going to be a send and a half for Westy if he does it. Paulie Orange has to defend to the right-hand side. He's going to go to at least. He's got the final few bits of the sets to go. This is... I'm not going to draw attention to Koala, as Koala's going to take the victory. Westy's got a penalty. I think that's title for Josh. Unless Paulie Orange has got more penalties. Oh, Paulie Orange has got to do... Yeah, Josh has taken the title.
Westy went for the move on Paulie Orange with a couple of corners to go. Got a time penalty. And that means in the end, Josh is the champion. Way down in last position. I think he may have even had a puncture on that Renault towards the end, but it is Josh who wins the championship. Koala, though, taking the victory. And if you are going to see a more dramatic title ending than that, I would like to see the video, because that was unbelievable. It was Brazil 2008 all over again.
Is that a clock? We almost got that moment, but you know, Westy, I'm actually going to see the gap of what could have been. I mean, he had the position. Let's just see what the if my game decides to load. Oh, he would have got a penalty anyway. He would have not got past anyway, because Paulie Orange, let's see what second penalty Paulie Orange got. 3 seconds as well. So I think Westy would have done it.
Yeah, everyone around had penalties, and you could see in the end Westy did finish ahead on track of Paulie Orange, and all he needed was that third place. But it's Koala who takes the victory. Furhan second, Paulie Orange, a great podium for him. He tried everything in the end on that one stop, and in the end it got him close to getting the championship. Droftas fourth. Westy must be kicking himself. He could have started his ILRT career off with a championship victory, but in the end could only finish in fifth and misses out by just a few points. And in sixth, Silent A seventh, Aylin eighth, Legend dropping down to ninth on penalties, I believe, in the end. Infamous Pillars 10th, Josh 11th, he is the champion. YBR 12th, Ibilu 13th, and Jonathan Cox did not finish. I don't think we expected that in the early stages when we saw Josh doing pretty well on his tyres and Furhan streaking away at the head of the field.
I think we pretty much jinxed it, to be honest with you, but yeah, I think due to Josh's dominant form towards the second half, well, to be honest, the first half, and toward near Italy and stuff, I think that's helped him. I think that's helped him secure the title today. That poor result didn't affect him in any way, shape or form, and you know, I think he must be praying to what gods? I don't know what gods he's praying to, but it must have certainly worked for him.
Yeah, it all worked out in the end. I don't think he would have expected it to be that close, but he could have been in pressure anyway under the end. Perhaps, obviously, he'd have still been in the points, but the soft tyres were really wearing out towards the end.
Yeah, they were. I wouldn't want to be in their shoes right now. I mean, you know, that there was only one safety car, and
yeah, I think another safety car could have really spiced things up. Although we may have... It could have been a bit like that Monaco race one year where there was the red flag and then everyone came in for fresh tyres, and we sort of ended up with an anticlimax. But that was anything but anticlimactic. Unbelievable in the end. We had no idea who was going to take the championship right up until the final couple of corners even. Yeah, and let's not forget, Westy had that drive-through penalty at the start of the race, so he perhaps wouldn't have had to fight his way up through the field. I know, obviously, with the safety car, that's sort of negated the disadvantage of that, but there's a few moments in that race he must be thinking it was his on a plate, and it didn't work out. Yeah, definitely, indeed. We have got a couple of drivers, so we'll go in reverse order. So third position was Paulie Orange, and you tried everything in that race, stopping out on the medium tyres under the safety car. That got you track position, and you managed to hold on to what was still a great podium. Yeah, definitely. How was it in those final few laps? Were you aware how close it was with yourself, Westy, and Josh for the championship?
Just trying to keep it on the track.
Yeah, you did a good job of that. Congratulations on getting third. And I think another man whose tyres were absolutely dead, and we've seen a few Mercedes drivers over the years saying that, not naming any names. But Ferhan, another second position, oh so close to another victory, but in the end your tyres just wearing out too much towards the end.
Yeah, I had 80% I think at the end. But yeah, Koala was fast at the end, so good race from him.
Yeah, and yourself nearly ended up being involved in an incident that could have decided the title. What happened between you and Josh as he went for the overtake on you, got ahead, and then there seemed to be a coming together on the exit of the corner?
Yeah, I think he got oversteer and then we collided.
Collided in the end, and we'll have to see if anything does come of that. It wouldn't surprise me if it doesn't, because obviously it is the last race of the season. But we did see a new winner tonight in FOR. Congratulations, Koala. Great race from yourself on the medium tyres, and it's a good run for Red Bull. 4 victories in a row now for the team. You must be delighted with helping them towards the Constructors' Championship.
Yes, man, and thanks for congratulations.
What made you decide in the end to go for the mediums? Because that does, obviously, in the end, that was the right tyre. Were you ever thinking about going for the softs after the safety car?
No, because I think with softs, I think it was 12 lap or 14, and I think it was too much for the soft. On the start, I was 6 laps on the soft, and then I was thinking, oh, holy shit, I will go in the pit. And I see, hey, I have a new mediums, and go on.
Yeah, it worked out well for you in the end. A great way to end the season. And what are your hopes for F1 2020? Obviously, with the new game around the corner, you're looking forward to it and hoping you can improve your pace even more?
Yes. And
yeah, well, you did a great job tonight, as did all of the people on the podium. Koala with the victory, Ferhan second, Paulie Orange third. And Jess, do you have any questions for our podium drivers?
No, I think I'll just. I think obviously we asked Koala, but what are the other guys' expectations on F1 2020? What are you looking forward to about the game most more than anything? I'll go with Ferhan first.
I hope to win the championship next game. Or beat Lonely.
good joke.
But it's very easy, I think.
Good joke, man.
And what about Paulie Orange? What will be your expectations of F1 2020?
I don't know, we'll just take the first race when it comes and hope I'm in the top 10 at least after Australia. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
And that's it from me, question-wise, Luke.
Yeah, great job for yourself, Jess, and thank you all to our podium drivers. I was hoping to get Josh in the chat, but I think he's still having a huge sigh of relief by sneaking that championship in the end by an extremely small... Well, I'm not even going to try and calculate this. 4 points. 4 points, I think it was, in the end, ahead of Paulie Orange. So close, but that's the first race Josh has competed in where he hasn't had a podium in the end, and it was so nearly crucial for him in the championship decider, but he's been fantastic in all the races he was in, and I bet when he saw how the results are, it didn't make a difference whether he'd have shown up tonight or not, but it's coming so close to losing the championship in the final race.
I think, to be honest, I'm glad he raced tonight. He had a bit of fun, that's for sure, and I'm glad he kept going after knowing that what was on the line tonight, and that's gonna be interesting for season 2 as well. I hope we see quite a lot of drivers compete in season 2, because we're probably gonna have a great competitive field, obviously, with the guys obviously from season 1 and obviously the new drivers as well. They'll be coming in as well. So whenever that starts, then and when that's gonna start, but we got new tracks along the way as well, like with the likes of Vietnam and Netherlands. That's gonna spice things up a little bit, because we won't have a clue about the strategy until the drivers take to the track.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. And obviously as well, there's also the PC League starting on F1 2020, so it'll be interesting to see how they do on that side of things. But that is it for the first ever FOR season. That is it for F1 2019 as a game. I'm sure quite a few people will be getting ready to uninstall it now if they haven't already, especially those that retired early on in the race and those that have left the lobby already. So thanks to all the drivers for taking part in the league. Thanks to yourself, Jess, for commentating alongside me for the last few races. It's been an absolute pleasure.
I've really enjoyed myself. Thank you for having me, Luke.
Yeah, thanks also to George, Steve and everyone else who was involved in the commentary. Thanks to the admin team. Thanks to our sponsors, Mixed Energy and Player One Coffee. You can check out in the description. Thanks most of all, though, to you guys, the viewers, for watching us. We wouldn't do this if it wasn't for you. I hope you've enjoyed it. I think there's something wrong with you, to be honest, if you didn't enjoy the final few laps of that race. It was fantastic, and I hope to see you all again on Season 2 on the next game. Information about that will be out shortly. But from myself and Jess, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and good night.